Elgato is sponsoring me to teach you what the optimal settings are in Windows as well as OBS to connect your Elgato Wave 1 microphone to your broadcasting software of choice. You've got to have your foundation set right so you can connect everything together. What do I mean by that? Well, the Elgato Wave 1 comes with obviously the Wavelink software that allows you to bring in Spotify, game audio, Microsoft Office, Skype, all of that into a singular easy to use interface, which is the Wavelink software. I recommend it to my clients all the time. Before you can connect the dots on your broadcasting software and Wavelink, let's get the foundation set. Awesome. So first stop on Windows is down here in the search bar, type in the word sound. And what you're going to do is go to sound settings. Once you click sound settings, it's going to bring up this menu with a bunch of irrelevant options. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down until you see this hidden menu, which I wish Windows would put at the front, called Sound Control Panel. That's where you get all of your juicy settings that you want to set up everything properly. Awesome. So today we're going to skip the playback settings because those are not as important. Those are only going to affect essentially what you hear in your monitor mix and your headphones. We're not as concerned with that today. We're going to do your recording settings. And you're going to see three critical recording options here. Your microphone in, which is just your mic. Your monitor, Wavelink monitor, which is your monitor mix, which you hear in your headphones or your speakers when you're doing your monitor mix, and then Wavelink stream, which is going to be the final output that goes into your recording, into your live stream, into your broadcast. Got it? So what we're going to do in each of these is we're going to right click, and then we are going to go to properties. In each one, you can name it whatever you want. I like leaving it as mic in, but what we'll do is we'll go through these menus and make sure that your settings are correct. You should not be listening to the device with your levels. Go ahead and if you want, you can bump them, start them out by bumping them up to 100, and then you can ease the volume back from there. It's really important that your enhancements are all disabled here in Windows. Sometimes those will pop on by default. And if you go to advanced, you want to make sure with the Wave 1 that you're selecting 24-bit 48,000 hertz studio audio. It'll just be slightly higher quality. And do give exclusive mode to your microphone input. Got it? For the Wavelink monitor, we're going to go through a similar process. Don't listen to the device through Windows. See how the levels are at 100? Awesome. Don't do the enhancements. In advanced, you're going to do a 2-channel 48,000 hertz studio quality and exclusive mode. Got it? And then for stream, you're going to do similar settings, of course. And here, we're going to do the same thing. Not listening to it, 100 levels, no enhancements. Go to advanced. And then you're going to do the highest option, 24-bit, 48,000 studio quality with exclusive mode. You're basically duplicating those settings on all three of these. The reason why you want exclusive mode, just to be clear, is that exclusive mode allows your Wavelink software, this software that controls everything and is the majority of the value of this microphone, to actually take exclusive control of your device and to do its thing. And if you don't give it exclusive mode, then you won't be getting the full benefit, and also other programs can adjust your volume and stuff, which you do not want to happen. Check. Those are the Windows settings that we wanted to set up before we go into OBS. It's really important because we're going to end up matching some of those settings here in OBS as we go into our settings here. So let's check out OBS right now and do our settings there. So here in OBS, your little settings button is down here in the bottom right. Click that, and it's going to pull up our handy dandy settings menu. In this menu, there's a couple key areas I want you to take a look at. Your first stop is going to be the audio tab here on the left-hand side. Click the audio tab. And then as you're going to see up here, see the sample rate? You saw how we double checked our sample rate in Windows. We need to match that sample rate here in OBS. And OBS will default you in some cases to 44.1. But remember, we just set our sample rate to 48. Match the sample rate. If you don't do that, your audio that's coming in through Wavelink may desync from what you're recording here in OBS because the sample rate is not the same. Got it? Awesome. Channels are stereo, and I very highly recommend that you manually disable every single audio device in OBS. Why is this important? Because your Wavelink software, you're going to be pulling in multiple audio sources there. And you don't want OBS to automatically add any audio sources as well. This will confuse you with your mixing. So if you disable everything here in OBS, all of your mixing on your computer will then be done through the Wavelink software over here instead of a combination of Wavelink software and OBS, which can get hairy, it can cause feedback, and it can cause confusion. So if you automatically disable all of these, you're simplifying your life. Trust me on that. It is absolutely worth your while. The next setting that you're going to want to do to maximize your audio quality, this is missed by, I'd say, 90% of my consulting clients. Go to the output tab and do not do simple mode. It'll default you on simple mode here for the output mode. Don't do that. Do advanced mode, because if you do that, it will enable you to increase your audio quality. What do I mean by that? Go to the audio tab, and each of your audio bit rates in OBS will probably default at like 128 or 160 when you land on this menu. Don't do that. That's what peasant cavemen use for their audio bit rate. Bump it up to 320. You will double your audio quality mathematically here by doing that. And there is a noticeable difference, in my personal opinion, between 160 and 320. It's like going from like a low to mid-tier quality MP3 to a maximum quality MP3. You can especially hear the difference when you put on headphones. So I highly recommend doubling your audio quality here in this menu. Then when you're done, what you're going to hit is apply down here, and then you can hit OK. Got it? Now your Windows settings are all set up to where Wavelink software is now taking exclusive control of your devices. Check. You've set your sample rate to 48,000 Hertz. Check. And you've disabled all of your enhancements in Windows so that Windows isn't going to jack up your audio. Check. Then in OBS, you went into your settings, you made sure that you've disabled all devices, you matched the sample rate we set up before, and you went to output, and in your audio quality, you doubled your audio quality. Check, check, check. Now your foundation is set for you to have maximum audio quality and avoid a lot of big issues with the Elgato Wave 1 when you're connecting it to your broadcasting software. This is set it and forget it, my friends. Hopefully that was helpful to you. And if you want to pick up this mic, which I very highly recommend, I'm going to have links below, and the official accessories for the mic are also down there as well. Adios, amigos. Elgato is sponsoring me to teach you how to connect your Elgato Wavelink software, the official software for this microphone, over to OBS so you can get some recording and some live streaming done. What do I mean by that? Well, it's really simple here, guys. The Wavelink software allows you to bring in Spotify, game audio, video conferencing, Discord, any audio on your computer, and combine it digitally into one simple and easy to use digital audio mixer, this guy right over here. And the reason why I recommend this to my clients, instead of using audio cables and all this complicated garbage, you can just put it all in the simple interface and combine multiple inputs and then bring it over to your OBS right here through one channel, essentially. What do I mean by that? Check out the example. So here I have my mic going. It's the mic you're listening to right now. And I added Spotify. Just an example. So if I want to bring over 3 different types of inputs from my Wavelink software over to OBS, here's how I'm going to do it. So option number 1 in OBS, and I'm going to do individual tutorials on each of these, but I'm just going to quickly review all 3 options for you, okay? So if you want to bring that audio over, what you're going to do is you're going to go down here into Sources in OBS, click the plus button, and then we're going to do an audio input capture. From audio input capture, the first example we're going to do is just mic in. And what this is this is the first example of how you can bring in audio, which is just by bringing in only the microphone audio from your Elgato Wave 1. You can select devices and notice mic in is there. Never leave this on to default, okay? And then once you click mic in, then you click OK, then as you'll see here in OBS, mic in is now in OBS and only my microphone is coming through, not Spotify audio, okay? So it's only pulling the audio from this input channel right over here, nothing else. Got it? Check. The next thing that you'll want to do, the next example of how you can bring audio over, is you may want to bring over your monitor mix into OBS. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this output right here called monitor mix, where you can decide in your Wavelink mixer which things will be played into that monitor mix by clicking the headphone jack or not, or adjusting the volume level or not on different channels in Wavelink software to determine what goes through monitor mix. So the headphone, that channel is your monitor mix. How do you bring that into OBS? Super simple, guys. Exact same process. Hit the plus button, hit audio input capture, and then you're going to call it monitor mix. Hit OK. And then same menu pops up, and then you're going to choose Wavelink monitor. Once you do that, go ahead and hit OK, and then boom, now your monitor mix is coming through here in OBS. Got it? And the exact same thing is the case. I'm going to remove it. The exact same thing is the case for your stream mix. And the stream mix is probably the most common mix that you guys are going to want to bring into OBS. That's your master mix for most people of what you want your viewers to actually hear in the recording and in the live stream. Exact same process here, guys. It's ultra simple. Hit the plus button on sources, add an audio input capture, call it stream mix, then hit OK, and then you're going to select stream mix here from your device in OBS, Wavelink stream right here, and then you're going to hit OK, and then boom, there it is. Your stream mix is coming through. And like I said earlier, you can adjust what's going into your stream mix by clicking this button right here under each channel. See that? And see that? If I removed both of these channels from the stream mix as an example, you'll notice that the stream mix here in Wavelink software is no longer getting any signal. And so when we look in OBS, notice how the stream mix is dead. But then if we go into the Wavelink software and I uncheck that and I uncheck this, now that audio in the mixer from these two channels is active, and now that audio is being pumped into the stream mix. Got it? Those are all three types of mixes that you can bring in. I'll do individual tutorial videos on each of those, but that's how you bring your audio from the Wavelink software over to OBS with the Elgato Wave 1 microphone. It's the most simple solution, really, to do digital audio mixing on your computer. Pretty much every consulting client I've recommended to it has used it and it loves it because it makes their life easier. Look, if you want to pick this mic up, I've got links below, and also the official accessories for the mic are down there as well. Adios, amigos. Elgato is sponsoring me to teach you how to add mic audio from your Elgato Wave 1 microphone into OBS. What do I mean by that? Well, what you can do with the Elgato Wave 1 mic is you can bring it into a digital audio mixer that comes along with the microphone, and you can select to only bring in just the mic audio into OBS. You don't have to bring in all the other sources that it can hold, like game audio, Spotify, Discord. You can bring in just the mic. How do you do that? It's really simple. So what you're going to do is you're obviously going to have your microphone set up in your Wavelink software as an input. If you haven't already done that, I've got tutorial videos on my channel just only talking about the basic setup to reach this step. Once you have set that up, it doesn't matter what other channels are in your Wavelink software right up here. So for example, you see how in this example I have Spotify playing? It doesn't matter if Spotify's there. It doesn't matter if game audio's there. It doesn't matter if whatever's there. We're going to only bring in the microphone channel, and here's how you isolate bringing in the mic and ignore everything else in your Wavelink software. Super easy. So what you're going to do in OBS is you're going to go down here under sources in whatever scene you're setting up. Then you're going to hit the plus button there. Once you do that, you're going to click audio input capture. Then from this menu, I highly recommend naming it mic in or calling it Elgato Wave 1, whatever you want to call it, but identify it as a microphone specific input. That makes your brain recognize it. Hit OK. Then what you're going to do under devices, you do not leave it under default. That will sabotage you. What you're going to do is click mic in. So if we wanted to bring in our stream mix or our monitor mix, that would bring in all the other sources that are a part of that mix. We don't want that today. We only want mic in. Cool. Once you do that, you can then hit OK. Beautiful. Now your microphone, only your microphone, is coming in through your audio mixer here in OBS. But let's talk about getting these settings right and making sure that the microphone is not coming in too hot or whatever, and getting the settings right. So as you can see, my mic's coming in a little bit hot right now through the system audio. So what we would want to do in that case is we want to turn down our volume here and make sure that the mic is getting in here around, let's say -5 dB, maybe a little bit lower here in OBS. And we can turn the volume down, by the way, in the Wavelink software as well to adjust its volume. So we could also adjust the volume over here, turn the input gain down here, and then that would adjust the volume accordingly, and we would be in good shape, okay? So those are two different ways to get your volume level precisely where you want it to be to get the levels just right in OBS. Cool, check. Once you do that, here's some bonus settings that you may want to do on your microphone to make it sound better. Click the gear cog and then go down under filters. And then there's a few filters that I recommend using in OBS to make any microphone sound better. So what you're going to do under filters is hit the plus button here, and then you're going to do noise suppression. So why noise suppression? It removes all background noise automatically. The new RN Noise Good Quality filter is great. Select that. The Speaks one is outdated and garbage. Just keep in mind, this is going to eliminate everything that is not a vocal. Okay, so if you are trying to play music in the background or do some sound effects or ASMR or something like that with your microphone, this is going to take a lot of that out by using this noise suppression. Keep that in mind. I also recommend adding to this microphone a compressor filter. Why would you do that? It gives you a more consistent sound. With a consistent volume level, it brings the lows up and the highs down. So what you're going to do under your compressor filter, great settings are 4:1 ratio on your compressor as a good setting. Check. And then the final setting you're going to want here is a limiter. Why are you going to want a limiter? Maybe you cough, maybe you sneeze, maybe your dog tackles you in the middle of your stream. I don't know. Put the limiter in place to prevent your microphone, if you accidentally smack your mic, whatever, to prevent your microphone from peaking and blowing up the faces of all of your audience members. You're going to want to do that at -3 dB. Then once you hit close, as you can see in the bars here, your audio is much tighter, and you are not going above a certain volume level here with your audio, which is great. And that's going to, you want to basically be in the sweet spot right between the yellow and the red, but not exceeding into the red too much and getting toward -5 dB. You want to be a little bit below -5 dB to be in that sweet spot here in your audio settings, so you don't overmodulate, but you are definitely loud enough to where people don't have to crank up the audio significantly when they're trying to listen to you through your microphone. That's how you bring the microphone from Wavelink software over to OBS, and some bonus settings because you watched till the end. If you're interested in picking up the Elgato Wave 1 mic, I've got links below to that, as well as the official accessories for this microphone. Adios, amigos. Elgato is sponsoring me to teach you how to bring over your monitor mix from your Elgato Wave 1 microphone into OBS. What do I mean by that? Well, the Elgato Wave 1 mic has the Wavelink software that comes with it for free. And what you can do is you can put together a custom mix of whatever you want to bring in there, music, game audio, a video conference call, your internet browser, into just your monitor mix you're listening to in your headphones or on your speakers. What's really cool is that you can bring only that mix of what you're listening to into OBS if you want to record that or stream that, which gives you additional flexibility and options. So what do I mean by that? Let's go ahead and do it. So today, in our monitor mix, I've got my Elgato Wave 1 microphone, just an example, and I've got some music playing. I've decided that in my monitor mix of what I want to hear, I have muted in the headphone here, that's the monitor mix, the music, because I don't want to listen to it, but I do, and I do not want the audience to be able to hear it as well in this example. So I only want to bring my monitor mix in, not the stream mix. So this gives you the option to choose two different types of mixes that you can bring into OBS, monitor mix or stream mix, which is really cool. Today we're talking about the monitor mix. That's the headphone on each channel. And for that monitor mix, you can adjust the volume of everything that's doing the monitor mix and on the left-hand side. So you can do a custom mix through the monitor mix channel to bring into OBS, which is really, really neat. So we've set our monitor mix and you can set yours. And now you want to bring that monitor mix into OBS so you can capture it there. Here's how you do it. You can go down to the plus button under sources in OBS. Then you're going to go to audio input capture. Click that, it'll pull up the menu. I recommend calling it monitor mix. Not monitor Miz, monitor mix. Perfect. So with monitor mix, we're going to hit OK. and then it's going to pull up the device selection menu. Do not leave it on default, please. Go to Wavelink Monitor. That is only the monitor mix, which is great. Then go ahead and go to the bottom and hit OK. Now our monitor mix is here. So as you can see, every time I'm talking, we're seeing the bars pop here in the monitor mix because that's the only thing we've chosen to bring into our monitor mix today. You can bring in anything into your monitor mix you want by enabling each item here in your monitor mix and changing the volume there, all completely customizable by you. You have to be really careful with adding filters to your monitor mix. So here's a power tip. So a lot of people like to use the OBS filters to make their audio sound better. There's only one filter you should add to this particular mix. Hit the gear cog, then go to filters. Then in the plus button in the bottom left-hand corner of that menu, click that plus button and go to limiter. Why are you going to want to add a limiter? Because it's possible that you could be bringing something in through your monitor mix, hit OK, that is too loud. You accidentally turned it on, you played a video, you played music, you coughed, whatever. That's coming in through that mix and it's too loud and it could blow up the headphones of your viewers. Go ahead and add this limiter and increase it to -3 dB, which is a broadcast standard, and that will prevent your monitor mix from crushing the headphones and ruining the recording essentially through audio on your mix. Don't add any other filters to this mix. For most people out there, I don't recommend adding any filters like noise removal and noise gate and compressor, because if you play music through this mix or you play game audio through this mix, it will really jack up the audio and significantly change it in a negative way, okay? Once you add the limiter there, you're gonna hit close, and then there it is. Now your monitor mix is never going to go above, as you can see, -3 dB. And if you see it really pushing toward -3 dB here, you can always drop the volume level here in OBS to mix it down in OBS accordingly, or you can bring the monitor mix down here in the bar in Wavelink software. See this monitor mix, master mix bar? You can bring this master mix down or up. You're actually listening to my monitor mix right now, and you can get that volume level to just the spot you want it to be. I recommend having it not peak up to your limiter here at -3 dB and bringing the volume down to where every channel that you're bringing into OBS is coming through the yellow, poking into the red a little bit. When you get ultra loud, maybe it gets up toward -5 dB, but you're not exceeding -5 dB, because then you're moving into clip territory and blowing up the face of your viewers. They're there to listen to clean audio. That's why you bought the Elgato Wave 1. If you haven't already bought it, check it out. Links in the description below to the microphone, as well as the official accessories for it. Adios, amigos. Elgato is sponsoring me to teach you how to add the stream mix for the Elgato Wave 1 microphone into OBS. What do I mean by that? Well, it's really simple, guys. Like, the Wavelink software that comes along with this microphone for free allows you to combine everything you want in your mix, game audio, Discord, internet browser, whatever it is, into one master mix using their official Wavelink software over here. So in today's example, what I have in our stream mix is I have just my microphone and one other input, just as an example, Spotify music playing. Cool. And so those two inputs are enabled. If we scroll down, we're going to see it here under the playback. Here, it is enabled. It's not disabled. That would be disabling it. It is enabled. It's not disabled. And so the mix we're talking about in Wavelink software is the stream mix down here, and you will see the volume level for the stream mix popping right here on this bottom bar. And so to take that mix specifically, which by the way, you can adjust the master volume of it here or monitoring it by clicking the ear here on that mix, to bring only that mix into OBS as one simple input that combines everything in Wavelink into one input into OBS. Super convenient. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to Sources, click the plus button, go to Audio Input Capture. Then from Audio Input Capture, you're going to type in Stream Mix. There. Go ahead and hit OK. Then it'll pull up this menu where you get to select your device. Do the drop down, do not do default. Select Wavelink Stream. Check. With Wavelink Stream, then it'll bring in only the stream mix when you hit the OK button here at the bottom. Hit OK. There it is. There's our Wavelink stream mix right there, nice and beautiful. Isn't it beautiful, my friends? And so when bringing that into OBS, you can see that my mix is a little bit hot right now. So what we can do is we can either bring down the mix here in the master volume for that mix by dropping it down here and then checking it out in OBS and seeing how that impacted our OBS. There it is. They brought it down a little bit in OBS, or we could bring the volume level down in OBS if we wanted to adjust the volume. We don't want our volume on any of these to be punching up to 0 dB. Up here at the top, that means that your source is potentially clipping, which is bad. So we're going to bring it up here in the master mix, maybe bring it down to like 90 appears to be the sweet spot. And then for you, it's going to be something different. I'm just teaching you how to balance this. And as you can see, there it is. I'm really just getting toward -5 dB, but not going above that with my stream mix. That's where we want it to be. Since you've tuned in toward the end of this video, here's a bonus tip on how to make your stream mix better. Click the gear cog next to that stream mix in your mixer, then go to filters. Within filters, you're going to want to hit the plus button down here in the bottom left-hand corner and select limiter in OBS and hit OK. What we're going to do is we're going to select under your threshold for your limiter, -3 dB. This is going to prevent your stream mix from peaking and clipping and what have you, and make it easy for you to have your audio sound great all the time. For example, I record tutorial videos all the time, and sometimes I'm louder, my mic is slightly closer, the volume levels adjust on their own, what have you. And so by putting this limiter in place, it prevents my recordings from being ruined. Even if my mic is a little bit hotter or the audio source is a little bit hotter that particular day, this can save recordings, this can save streams. Trust me, add this limiter here. It's going to prevent your audio from clipping. Once you do that, you're going to hit close, and then there it is. As you can see, my audio is never going to go above -3 dB here under the stream mix, so therefore you're never going to blow the face off of your viewers. Optimally, your volume level is kind of going right here between the yellow and the red line, getting toward -5 dB. It's a little bit hot right now, so you're going to want to talk, play your music, play your game audio, watch what happens, and just really adjust this and get it into a sweet spot where it's in the yellow, headed toward the red, but not exceeding the red too much, and then you are in the zone with your stream mix. Now, your audiences can enjoy a custom mix that you did through the Wavelink software just for them that's got the perfect volume levels and will never blow their face off, which is good. If you don't already have the Elgato Wave 1 mic, check out the links below with the official accessories as well. Adios amigos. Elgato is sponsoring me to teach you how to bring in any type of input you can put into their software over to OBS. This could include an internet browser. This can include music. It can include game audio. It can be Discord. It can be anything, Microsoft Office, you name it. If it's got an audio input that can go through your system, you can connect the dots here in the Wavelink software. So in today's example, I'm just going to show you how to do music as an example, but I've got individual tutorials on my channel already. If you're looking to do game audio, voice chat, anything else, internet browsers, I've got tutorials on just those things if you want to figure out how to add those specifically. So in today's tutorial, I've already got music added. Quick crash course on how that works. In order to do that, you basically need to play audio through whatever the source is you're trying to bring in, whether that's an internet browser. In this case, it's music, right? So I'm playing Spotify. Check. The next step is I am going to, in Windows, type in the word sound down there, and sound mixer options is going to be an option down there that we're going to click. Click that, check. Once we do that, it'll pull up this menu here. Within this menu, we are going to select the appropriate channel for whatever the input is that we brought in. So in this case, it's music. So I'm going to, in the top option, select Wavelink Music. Makes sense? And for most of you guys out there, for the second option, you're probably going to want to choose Wavelink Stream. There are going to be other cases where you wouldn't want to choose that, but we can go over those in a separate tutorial video. Now that it's routed to Wavelink Music, you will want to add an input here into your Wavelink software called music. So let me just show that happening in real time right now, just so you can see the example. I already had it added there and it was already working. Let me show you an example of adding it from scratch. So we're going to click add audio input, and then we're going to click music. And then what we're going to do here under the music selection is I'm going to call it whatever the music is. You can call yours whatever you want to call your input. Got it. And then what I'm going to do, just so I don't have feedback, I'm going to mute there and watch this. Then I'm going to play the music, and boom, there the music is coming right through. So that's the crash course on how this works. Once again, individual tutorial videos are available to teach you in depth. Now that that's set up, now that you have your input here, your Spotify, your whatever, let's connect the dots over to OBS. So there are two different ways that we can bring that input into OBS. Okay. One of those ways is through the monitor mix, and the other way is through the stream mix. And you can choose which of these mixes and how you want to utilize these mixes when you bring it over. So for example, right now I have the monitor mix muted because it'll create feedback. So I probably don't want to use the monitor mix in my case, but I do want to bring in the stream mix. So I have the stream mix enabled. If I killed the stream mix right here, it wouldn't go through the stream mix anymore. Okay. So you can enable or disable for each input which mix it's going through. Headphones is monitor mix. The playbacky thing here is stream mix. And you can see both of these mixes down here in the outputs below. Monitor mix is right here, top bar, and stream mix is down here, bottom bar. And you can adjust the audio of each of these mixes by using the slider. And you can also choose which one you're monitoring by clicking the ear button on it. Got it? You guys are currently listening to my monitor mix right now on this recording. Great. So now that you understand that, let's connect the dots to OBS. So here in OBS, if you want to add either of those mixes, either monitor mix or stream mix, what you're going to do is go to Sources, click the plus button, then you're going to choose Audio Input Capture. Once you do that, type in here, you can do whichever mix you want to call it, type in the name of the mix. I'm just going to call mine mix. You can do monitor mix or stream mix. It works exactly the same. Just type in the name of the mix here when you're doing it in yours and hit OK. Then here's where you're selecting your mix. You're going to go under device. Do not do default, please. Go ahead and choose either monitor mix here or stream mix here based on which one you want to bring over. It's up to you. Most of you, 90% of you, will probably want to bring over the stream mix. So I'm just going to do that in this example, but you do have the option to add your monitor mix. I've got a whole separate tutorial, by the way, just on monitor mixes. So we'll do stream mix in this example, wave, link, stream. Got it? Once you've done that, go ahead and hit OK. And there it is. Your stream mix is now punching through directly into OBS. So everything that you've selected, it could be your mic, your music, your game audio, Microsoft Office, Discord. You could throw a ton of inputs in there. Anything that has the stream mix enabled under that channel and is coming through the stream mix here within the Elgato Wavelink software is now automatically pumped in to one singular channel in your audio mixer in OBS now. Isn't that brilliant? Bonus tip, since you're sticking around, go ahead and hit the gear cog on that particular channel, monitor mix or stream mix. This works for both. Hit filters. And then the bonus filter I like to add to this is called the limiter filter. It is a great filter to put on literally every audio channel you ever add in OBS. Hit OK. And then what you're going to do is bump up this filter to -3 dB. Why? Who knows, man? Your input that you're bringing in there, that game audio, that music audio, that collaborator, that interview, they may sneeze, they may laugh, you may scream, whatever. It could get real loud is the point. If you put -3 dB as your limiter option here, it's going to prevent your audio mix from blowing up the headphones of everybody listening. I've got one on my audio right now, and that's helping prevent me from clipping. Look, sometimes stuff happens in audio mixes. None of it's perfect. Programs compete for control over your audio devices and can jack up your mix. It can sound great on day one and not on day two. So if you put a limiter in place that can prevent clipping from ruining your stream or ruining your recording, no matter what, it's an extra layer of protection within OBS to protect your content. And that's how you connect the dots on any type of input you're adding in here to Wavelink over to OBS in one singular beautiful mix here in your audio mixer. Didn't that make it a lot more simple? Yeah, it does. And that's why I've recommended the Elgato Wave 3 mic, and I highly recommend the Elgato Wave Link software to my clients. The Wave 1, as you can see from this tutorial, has the exact same function where you can bring in that entire mix over to OBS for a lower price actually than the Wave 3. So if you want to check out the Wave 1 mic, check out the links below. Also have the official accessories down there, which can help reduce pops and booms with the shock mount. Adios, amigos.